Hi everyone, we are really excited to introduce to you our revised K-12 Biblical Studies curriculum. This has been an amazing process. This has been a great opportunity to tell our story as a Christian school, offering a unique and distinctive educational experience for the kids and families that we serve. We are more than just a school that teaches a BC curriculum by Christian teachers. We want to make sure that we offer a distinctive education with guarantees for every parent, that when you enroll at LCS, you know exactly what is going to be taught in your son or your daughter's classroom.
Our K-12 Biblical Studies curriculum is designed primarily as an invitation for students to learn how to know God, love others, and live purposely. Like any strong Bible curriculum with a deep hope to encourage lifelong faith formation, our students learn about how the stories of the Bible fit into a wider, more redemptive view of what God is doing as we participate in God's redemption, reconciliation, and restoration of the world. Now, this past year, we identified 6 learner attributes that would form our K-12 Biblical Studies curriculum: purposefully disciplined, faith-informed discernment, servant stewardship, grace-filled integrity, engaged and faithful, and hopeful and thriving. Our curriculum is modeled like the BC Education Plan, with vivid descriptions of formational learning experiences, big ideas, curricular competencies, and content standards. Now, what I'm really excited about is that we've used our learner attributes to build our curricular competencies for our K-12 Biblical Studies courses. We've also developed what I see as something quite innovative in terms of using our learner attributes to also flesh out what we're calling our formational Christian teaching practices. These practices are where we believe educationally we partner with the work of the Holy Spirit to encourage transformation and growth in our learners. We believe this is an important way that we're not only cultivating in our students and also in our K-12 educational staff and community what it means to be a learner and disciple of Christ. The Bible's filled with examples of how to train in wisdom and model our lives with students learning to know God, love others, and live purposefully in light of Jesus, our living example of wisdom. In a Christian learning community representing members from over 110 local churches, our curriculum is designed to help students learn about faith formation in theologically diverse contexts. Students will learn about biblical stories, make connections to our world, and engage in rich discussions about how Christian faith informs how we live in the world, steward creation, and engage in understanding of the Christian tradition, which has introduced us to spiritually formative practices that help us to become more like Christ. And as part of our process, we developed supplemental or guidance documents that we'll use to support the training and implementation of our K-12 Biblical Studies curriculum with our educational staff. Now, as I reflect on the process, I find so many examples of how I've been shaped. So we wanted to share some of the key members from our K-12 curriculum review team that have been instrumental in this process as well.
We started this Bible curriculum journey in the spring of 2021, when at that time, teachers from across the 3 campuses came together to establish a list of learner attributes, like a learner DNA. Who do we want our learners to be? What do we want to bring out in our Christian and Bible curriculum? And so we answered the question of, who are we as a Christian community? And that led to some really wonderful discussions and really got the excitement growing. Shortly after that, Kevin and I worked together to map out what would this process look like. We needed a plan. And one of the first things that we worked on in this plan was coming up with formational Christian teaching practices. A list of ways of being, ways of teaching, ways of establishing the atmosphere in our classrooms, not just in Bible, but throughout our school days, so that there would be consistency, faithfulness to God and His Word, and continuity.
In the fall, we built our curricular competencies and engaged with curricular review teams just on what was already there in terms of resources, talked about what was going well, what we valued at each grade level. From there, we did a curricular analysis of the resources. We outlined our curricular philosophy and approach, a spiral curriculum, balance of teaching content, we wanted to also increase the depth in terms of content and increase competencies as we move up through the grades from K to 12. From there, we developed our guidance documents and our teaching practices. We built our website page, wrote a rationale and introduction for each of them. We started a consultation to frame the content standards at each grade level. There were focus groups, surveys, discussions with students, staff, faculty, our education committee. We got feedback from the board and some key external voices. And that brought us to April 8th.
April 8th was a big day for our K-12 team. This was the day that we actually got to sit down and look at the documents that we have been working so hard to create. I really appreciated this time because as a high school teacher, I spent a lot of time in my group in middle school and high school, but it was an opportunity for me to sit down and listen to a perspective from a grade 4 teacher or a grade 2 teacher, and that was fantastic. We also had the opportunity to have Darren Spikesma of SCSBC come and share some of his input as well. And as we sat down in small groups and looked at the learning attributes and tweaked some of the wording, we also looked at the perspective of what is going to be good from a K to 12 perspective. What is going to be good for the grade 1 student that is also going to be good for the grade 12 student. And this was really an invitation for us to think about what it means to be learners, but also disciplined as Christians and thinkers here at LCS.
One of the most impactful conversations we had was a roundtable conversation where we invited Reverend Dr. Ray Eldridge and community member John Johnstone. We had asked them to come and review our curriculum to help us ensure that we were deconstructing or decolonizing some of the language that was used. They gave some great encouragement to the work that our team had already worked on and done throughout the process, but they also had some great stories to tell us and some other suggestions that we could put into what we could do in order to create a document that was really inviting our students into a relationship with Christ, as opposed to indoctrinating or just teaching. But what our goal is to invite our learners into this relationship.
As I reflect on all the work and effort that has gone into the formation of our Re-envisioned Bible curriculum, the strength of the work has emerged from the consultation process, the feedback we've received, and how we've been responsive to thinking about how our curriculum will be lived out in the Bible classes and also beyond into our school community. A number of key voices have helped shape the curriculum, from local pastors to theologians, Bible teachers, parents and experts in local and international Christian education contexts. And we've had a wide range of perspectives that have informed the work that we have done. And this work represents an important step in our journey. However, we have more work to do as we support our educational staff with the introduction, development, and practice of our K-12 Bible curriculum. We've also tried to be thoughtful about how we'll implement our K-12 Bible curriculum, so we have broken up the work ahead into 3 phases: introducing, practicing, and reviewing. And that is a way that we will start to take up this into the life of our learning community.
As we launch this new curriculum, I can't think of a more important thing that we do. This work is so vitally important to provide a guiding light, a pathway that makes clear for everybody at our school what is distinctive about our school and makes really clear what we are teaching in all of our classrooms, and that there's a common language and a common experience for all our students. In this time and place of a crowded marketplace of ideas and influences that are confusing, it's more important than ever that we are really clear on what makes our educational experience distinctive. And so as we embark on this journey over the coming months and years, we invite all of you as parents, as caregivers, to journey with us in making this come alive for all of the students that God calls to our school.